Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another client success interview. Today we have Jessica Lee, who has been an absolute rock star. But her journey did not start off like super smooth. It was a lot of challenges, one after the other. But in 3 months, she has grown into just an absolute superstar. So she's currently looking for an assistant coach, where 90 days ago, she had no online coaching business. In fact, she was asking me whether or not she should create her like a brand new fitness page or turn her old personal page into a fitness page. It was so brand new that she was worried that her friends would, judge her or make comments or, just have a negative reaction to it. But we've grown so much since the beginning. She is full time. Essentially, she was full time 2 weeks before she joined the program. She put in her 2 weeks before the program, but I'll let her tell the story. Jessica, it's so nice to have you here. I would love for you to just start from the very, very beginning, and then just share your story all the way to where you are now, because you're absolutely crushing it right now. You have 30 clients, maybe even more. You did just sign a client right before this call too.
I
Um,
did.
and you are currently looking for an assistant coach. So your team is growing, and it's happened so fast. So I just want to share your success. I want you to, share where it all started for you. So why don't we just start from the beginning?
Yeah, sure, of course. So, my name is Jess. I'm from the DC area, and I started. Um, I didn't have a coaching business. I never thought that I would be doing anything like this in my entire life. I signed with Zach in the middle of January, and the way I found him was actually through another client of his. I went to the same college as her, and I was starting to look at her stories. I was starting to look at, she was getting these clients, she was helping them with their like health and fitness goals. And I was like curious. I was like, how is she getting all these clients? How is she marketing herself? How is she learning all of this? And then that's how I came across Zach's Instagram, and I started watching all of his testimonials. I started watching what he offers and who he is in general. And I was very drawn to that, just not because of like what he does and like, what everything was look like and what he offered, but like honestly, Zach, like I thought you were just a very genuine person and you just wanted to help people, and that's what really drew me to you. So that's why I applied. I was an inbound lead, and then when we talked on the phone, I got very, very excited, to get the ball rolling. I just wanted to start right away, and I always had a passion for fitness and health. I went to college, I graduated, but it had nothing to do with personal training. I never imagined myself getting into this as an occupation. When I was in college, I ran, and I feel like I went to college just for running. I felt like my academics was something in the back of my head, but I didn't want to think about it because I didn't know what my future would look like. So with personal training, I definitely had a passion for it. I was always thinking about it, but I always had it on the back burner because people in my life were just a little negative about it. So when I found out about Zach, I was so hype. I was really excited to get started as soon as I could. And like you said, I put in my 2 weeks notice before I even started in general. And to be real, it's because I was a temporary hire and I had to sign a contract for a full-time position. And I was like thinking, oh, but what if I become successful in coaching and then I like decide to quit after signing that contract? So that was why I did that. But it definitely put myself in a very dangerous situation because I didn't have another source of income after that. So Zach, I remember you texted me and you're like, "Yo, hold up, let's wait till you actually get results." But then I was thinking like, you know what? No, because putting myself in this situation is only going to get me to work harder because I had no choice. So, um, you know, I went through a lot. I feel like throughout this quarantine, especially, and I feel like finding you and learning so much about this has really shaped me into the person I am today. Um, and this is going to sound cheesy. I feel like a completely different person, but yeah, like throughout this journey, it's just been grinding. I've just been grinding and grinding and grinding because I just want this so badly. And it just all comes down to how bad you really want it and how much you're going to stick with it. So, and yeah, you're right. Like I did have my challenges with like imposter syndrome. I was not very confident with putting myself out there. in the very beginning. But Zach, you really helped me overcome that, with thinking about like, who cares what people think? You're always going to get the haters. You're always going to get people that don't support what you're doing, no matter what you're doing. So, you know, when you got me thinking that way, I just went, you know what? Let's just get this thing started. And yeah, I think consistency was something that I think consistency was what made what this was today, like with my business and that kind of thing. So yeah, that is my story.
Amazing. No,
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. Just a little disclaimer for you guys. I'm always pretty conservative when it comes to life decisions. I never advise my clients or students to drop out of school or quit their job. It just ends up happening. And when it does, I freaking love it. But they go all in, they crush it. And, this is the life that they build. So can you talk about the results that you've seen? Like, where are you now? What does your business look like now? And what does it feel like to look back on who you were just 3 months ago and just like, compare and contrast the differences?
Oh my gosh, I can't even compare myself now compared to January, just because like, even as like becoming a coach, I was never a coach. I never had any experience with training someone. I've never had clients. Just like thinking about it, like back in January, I would think like, no, I don't see myself doing that, but I'm doing that right now. And it has been a learning experience for me, but I found out that I can make a huge impact for people. And it's just so rewarding to do that for others. But if you told me in January that I was capable of doing this now, I'd be like, hell no, no way, no way, it's impossible. But you know, it's happening now. I have 30 clients. I'm looking for an assistant coach, and things are going very well. I love my clients. I'm very thankful at where I'm at. But if you told me in January that I was capable of doing this, I would have been like, I don't believe you.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. And I get the vibe now that you're very confident in your ability to work for yourself full time. I'm sure that there's no question or
Mhm.
doubt that you'll ever have to go get a job ever again. What does that feel like?
Very freeing, first of all, very freeing. I'm thankful every single day that I get to do what I love. Like at times, of course, like I always feel like the work is endless. I feel like working for yourself, having that 9 to 5, it was easier when you were working for someone else. But when you're working for yourself, it's kind of hard to distinguish when you're actually going to be working and having that schedule versus personal time with friends, time with other people. So balancing that out has definitely been a challenge, but I couldn't have asked for anything better, because like I'm doing what I love. I'm busy, but I'm not complaining because it's something that I'm passionate about. And I wake up every day like, is this real? you
That's
know?
awesome. I love that. I love that. And what's even crazier too is like in the beginning, what did you go to college for exactly?
My major was sociology, and it was a concentration in criminology. So
So
I was on
nothing
the
to
path
do.
of
Yeah.
nothing to do with personal training. I was on a path of studying law. I was thinking about maybe becoming a paralegal. My internship was at a police training academy, and I absolutely hated it because I had to read laws out of a law book and interpret them, and it was absolutely crazy. I hated it. So
And what's
during that time, yeah, I was like, what am I going to do after college?
Yeah, because and what's crazy too is I was actually talking to another one of our students today. She works full time as an engineer, and she's like, it's crazy is because I became an engineer to make money and to have a six-figure salary, and now I'm working for myself, making more money than I would with my college degree. And like now, probably already in 3 months or a year from now, for sure, you'll be making way more money than you would,
hmm
going down the path that you were on. But I think it is interesting and important to highlight the fact that you went 4 years down a path that was not the right path for you. And the very last second, you're just like, what is this opportunity? I'm very curious about this opportunity, and it's paid off big time for you. But I remember in the beginning, there were some challenges. So, um, your first challenge, your first roadblock is,
hmm
okay, how do I take my profile and how people know me and start posting fitness content? Like that was huge for you. I remember you and I had a conversation. You're just like,
Yeah.
what are people going to think? Like, people don't see me as this fitness coach. Like, what was that like for you in that moment? And what's it like now? What happened after you started posting fitness content? What was the response from people? I know you had haters at some point. So like, tell me about that journey.
Yeah, of course. I do remember that conversation we had. Um, it was really hard for me. Like, I feel like it could be hard for anyone to just randomly start this journey and start doing something that you're passionate about and actually sharing it with people that follow you and that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, it wasn't easy for sure, but in the beginning, I definitely got some haters. I would have people DM me saying, like, what are you trying to do? Like, who do you think you are? That kind of stuff. And I did, like, I was struggling, like, mentally. I was like, is this a mistake? Like, I would question myself, like, is this the right thing to do? Like, is this right for me? Like, should I be doing this? And you definitely, like, I built my trust with you more because you were always assuring me that this was for me. There are people that are rooting for me. And not only do you teach us about sales and sales tactics and, like, learning how to build a successful business, but you also teach us how to be the best of the best while, you know, learning how to ignore the people that don't support you. And I really appreciated that because I think that was something that I was struggling with the most in the very beginning, especially since posting fitness stuff was never my thing ever before I started this. So it was a very interesting experience. But at the same time, I did appreciate your support. You were just always there. Like, I felt like you were watching me as I was posting. And I was like, okay, I got to post this because if I don't, Zach's going to see I'm not going to do this. So I better do this. Like, that's the mentality I had from the very beginning. So um, it was definitely hard, but it did get easier because it became a habit. So, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. But right now, I am gaining followers, which is great, but um, I'm learning how to please my audience. I'm learning how to structure things, and through your guidance and also through trial and error as well. But right now things are going great.
Good.
It's all worth it. Like, I know
Good.
it's so worth it.
Do you feel like you have built a new audience tailored for who you are now? Like, do you feel like now when you post, do you even get any hate anymore, or do people just like, did they filter themselves out? Like, what happened? Like, what is your audience like? What is it like now?
I think ever since I've opened up more about my personal story, I don't know if people have, like, scrolled through my Instagram, but I became very open with my story and, like, my struggles and, like, what I went through. And ever since I've been very vulnerable and been doing that, which was hard for me, as that was very hard for me. I think ever since I've started to do that and put myself out there more, I've gotten a lot more support. I've gotten a lot more positive feedback, and it made me think, like, and learn that people want to relate with you. And I realized that to become successful, you also have to be relatable,
Mhm.
and you have to have like people like I don't know how to explain this very well, but basically people responded positively to me opening up.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, question for you.
Yes.
How do your parents feel about this decision? Did you tell them that you were signing up? Did they support it? What was that like?
Funny story. So I didn't tell my parents that I signed with you. It was a secret, just because I didn't know what they would say. But
You
ever
think
since
do you think they would talk you out of it?
I think they would,
Yeah.
just because there are no results yet. But ever since I've gotten results, I'm succeeding. I'm getting these things, like, done. Like, I'm starting to see success. They eventually found out because I think that, I don't know, my dad, he can look at my bank account sometimes. He gets access to it, and he saw, like, that I was paying you, and he was, like, wondering who you were, and I could see he was looking you up actually. And then I opened up and I was like, hey, in January I invested in a fitness business coach. And my dad was like, okay, yeah, it's definitely worth it. I was like, I
Awesome.
don't think he would have said that in the beginning, but
Yeah.
they eventually found out. But no, I did not tell them. I did not
Yeah.
tell them.
Dude, I mean, I can't tell you how many years my mom was on my ass about going to school until eventually I showed her what I made, I showed her what I paid in taxes, and I'm like, you can't tell me what to do anymore because like even going back to school, like this it just doesn't make any sense anymore. And they're like, okay, we finally understand, we believe it. So
Hmm.
I know how it can be to have parents that just want to keep you safe, and that's really all they want to do. They just want to protect you. And the world is changing nowadays, like the with internet business and social media, everything is just so new. It's kind of like the Wild West. So it makes sense if an older generation doesn't quite understand the like what's involved, but uh
Hmm.
noble for you to go behind and just do what's best for you. um I did have a question for you about business. So obviously inside the program you learn everything you need to know about running a business and how to
Hmm.
become your own full-time employee, or like employer. You work for yourself full-time essentially. Were you
Hmm.
surprised by how much you didn't realize you needed to know?
For sure. Yes. You basically provided the blueprint. Like you literally went from A to Z on what you need to do. And that is exactly what I needed because I was starting from scratch. Like you said, I had no business, no experience, no nothing. And it was the perfect starter to just get me started. And if I didn't have that, I think I would have faced many challenges, through trial and error.
Yeah.
And you
What
basically helped me avoid trial and error.
Yeah, let's play a little game. So let's imagine that we went back to January and you didn't have this program. What would your first attempt be? Like, what would you have tried to get started? Like, what would you have done without the guidance?
Built a website.
Yeah,
I would have built a website
yeah,
for sure. That would
and
have been
then
my first step.
what?
Then probably just look up YouTube videos on how to market myself after that through my website.
Yeah,
But I don't even have a website right
yeah,
now.
it's
But if I went back, I would have just started with a website. And now thinking like back, I'm like that. No, that's so wrong. That's not what we're supposed to
mhm.
do.
So what's in the future for you? What does the next 6 months to 12 months look like for you? What are your goals? What's on the horizon? What are you looking towards?
I am looking towards making 10K. I'm towards almost 8K this month. So I'm getting there. I'm moving up slowly, but my goal is 10K for next month. I think next month is a good goal for 10K. In July or August, I want to move to San Diego with two other girls that are in your program. And that's the other thing. You also built an amazing community of trainers where we all help each other out. And like you're not only there, like, but we have, I feel like we're just all there for each other. And I just love that community. And I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. So I think that's the special thing about your program too, because like I don't know I guess what I'm saying is I don't know other people that do that with their business and that kind of thing. And the thing is, like, it just became like that. You never intended it to be like that. It just
Mhm.
became like that, which is amazing too, you know. So my goal is to move to San Diego with Paige and Sarah in July and August, and meet you in person, meet everyone else in person in San Diego, and yeah, that's the dream. That's the dream right now.
Dude, and I don't see why you couldn't make that happen. Right? 8 grand a month. You realize that's a six-figure salary, right? 8 grand a
Yeah.
month is a six-figure salary doing what you love. You're young. Your plans to move to San Diego, California. Like, dude, you're living the dream. You're living the dream.
Yep.
And that's something to
Yeah.
be extremely proud of. So I'm extremely proud of you. That's awesome. What would you
Thank
say to
you.
someone
All
who
because of you.
Thanks. What would you say to someone who is on the brink, who's watching this video thinking, do I do this? Do I not do this? I'm scared to get started. I don't really have an Instagram. Like, I'm not a fitness coach. I've never done fitness coaching before. Like, what would you say to yourself if you can go back and give yourself a word of advice with where you are now?
A word of advice for myself in the past is people mostly care about what they think about themselves more than other people. People are more worried about themselves than others. So who gives a crap about what you do? that's the biggest piece of advice that I would give myself, but even for like anyone else that's in my position right now. Like take the mental aspect out of it and just do it. There's never a wrong or right time to do it. Just do it and ask yourself, how badly do you really want it? So yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Anything else you would like to leave the people?
um Zach's great, y'all. I mean, he's so worth it, really. Like this changing lives, literally, seriously.
Appreciate you. All right, guys, that is it for today's interview. This is Jessica Lee. Jess, do you want to leave your Instagram available?
Yes, my Instagram handle is at Lessica G.
Lessica
Um,
G. Spell it out for
I
him,
think,
please.
wait, I think it's Lessica underscore G, but let me check again. Yeah, Lessica underscore G, LESSICA underscore JEE.
Beautiful. Jessica, thank you so much. Everybody, see you in the next video.